Hi, Andrew. I hope you're doing well. And welcome to Simon Folk Insights. This is basically a place where we gather with brilliant minds like you and we talk about trends in AI, groundbreaking technologies, and innovations that are essentially shaping our future. I am your host, Fariha, and today I am extremely thrilled to be here. On today's agenda, we will be discussing how AI has essentially impacted, and shaped the future for the finance industry. And for our listeners, for that, I have with me my very honorable guest, Mr. Andrew Zhang, who himself is a prodigy in the field of AI with several years of experience in AI, data, and automation. Thank you so much, Andrew, for being with us here today. And I really hope, and I really hope that through this session, we can, empower many of our listeners in the days to come. Starting off with your journey, Andrew, because I myself was very intrigued, and I'm hoping, and I know for a fact that the people who would be listening to us will also be very intrigued with, your own personal journey. Since you've had an incredible journey working with some of the biggest tech players, and now you're also independently consulting for Y Combinator backed startup, right? I wanted to know that what drew you into AI and specifically fintech, and what keeps you motivated to to keep being engaged in this particular space.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. First of all, thank you, very hard for giving
You're
me
very well deserving of it. You don't need to thank me. You're very well deserving.
Yeah. So that's a very good question and make me thinking. I started my career early days. Actually, was in a startup, a very early career. But most of my time, starting from this century, what I've been here for a long time, it's working for an enterprise company. I work in a pharmaceutical company for a good amount of 10 years. So I understand how to run a complex global business with many business units and many business functions. And I've been working with different technology stack inside the company, starting from web platform, middleware, CRM systems, and then cloud and analytics. So in 2016, around that time, I just realized that there's a lots of innovation outside in big tech. So I joined IBM and in their open source analytics group as a technical evangelist, giving enterprise customers opportunity to learn open source innovation and also introduce IBM solution. So I spent a good amount of like 4 or 5 years there, and then moved to Amazon. When the time I realized I also want to be part of on the operation side and see how the interaction, the workload be running in one of the largest cloud in the world. And I learned also much also there. Around this time is there. It's actually partially the personal reason I want to come in back to startup is when I look at my son, he's in college, and he is kind of struggling to find a career path. And not saying he's not doing well, but in fact he's doing very well. But I see a younger generation also had a different path for career. So I want to, in some sense, helping him, but in some sense, helping me, because it's AI large language model ChatGPT moment that get me back to AI. And why fintech, right? Fintech, if in fact, I've been working with most of my life in different industry while I was in IBM and Amazon, and also in between I work for another startup. I've been mostly in many different industry, working with healthcare, life science, public, higher education, telecom, media, retail, and also finance. What what I've been going through some of the big companies in terms of their market, go-to-market, sales force or everything, you realize like a financial market is the number one market among all the enterprise segments. And in fact, usually it's like 30 to 40% of the market size in terms of dollar-wise. And the other reason is because I'm in New York. So, and we participated some of the events locally here, and I kind of realized the gap. So where I can be part of the
You're a true inspiration for so many young minds out there, and there's no debate about it. I mean, it's really inspiring to listen to somebody speak.
yeah.
So
I mean, I think the
yeah,
personal story is actually is a powerful one. Whenever I feel some of the see some of the challenges, I think about my son. I think about
yeah.
what I do ultimately will help the younger generation open the world. It's a very competitive marketplace for, I've been talking, when I was doing technical evangelist, I went to so many universities like Harvard, MIT, Columbia, Stanford, University of Chicago, Northwestern, you name it. And every time I talk to the younger generation, I feel more uh, I feel the enthusiasm from them.
Yeah.
And I know that they're very hungry, looking for advice and help. And now it's my family, so it's very personal. And I think I can do one job at the in uh, I can help my son or the generation. Yeah.
I mean, that's
Like
that's truly very motivating to even listen to. And yeah, I mean, yeah, you're doing a pretty well job though. So yeah, that is why we had you here today. Moving on to the next question. Yeah. Moving on to the
Yeah.
next question. Since we're talking about financial services and we're talking about the role of AI in them, right? What do you think that firms that are opting to, move towards AI, generative AI, and opting to include AI in their services, where should they begin? And what are some common pitfalls that they should be aware of so that they could kind of overcome them throughout their journey?
Right. Very good question. Yeah. I think this time of AI is different than last time. The 2016 and 18, the AI is about machine learning, deep learning. You need to get lots of data, and then you have to do Python and train machine learning model, do feature engineering, all kinds of stuff. But this time is very consumer ready in the first place. So what I see is or individual or organization, you should start with your personal experience, because right now it's there, it's ready, and I know there's a large percentage of people already start using ChatGPT and tools beyond, which is a really good thing, because we really democratize the AI for access to everyone. So that's what I would say or recommend for people to start with. Use ChatGPT or some other your favorite tool. If you are a coder, you can use Cursor or some other new. You'll be impressed. The pitfall is their limitation for this, and the more you use it, the more you understand it, and then you can resonate and make a meaningful connection to understand what are the limitations. So if you understand the both sides of the the power of AI and also the limitation, you will start thinking. You will start trying to figuring out why, and that thinking process is critical to lead you into now, how you're going to implement AI in your organization, and how you're going to draw business value from AI, how you can do this effectively, cost effectively, and efficiently. Because one of the challenges right now is not you cannot do it, but you end up like doing this very not very effectively or scale this very effectively in the organization most of the time. So you have to learn how to address these issues before you start a bigger journey.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Moving on towards the next question, that is, and this is a question that I also was very intrigued to when I was doing my research and making the questions. So I really, really want to ask this question to you from my own, even from my own side. And this question is that, since we're aware that you're currently, you're writing a guide on Ollama, and you're also, side by side working with high school students, teaching them how they could use, AI in their, innovative projects. What ways do you think that a firm could, practically integrate generative AI into finance? And how could that enhance, their overall working, their overall productivity, their efficiency?
Yeah, that's a good question. Every time you write a book, you spend the first 2 months to research and create a table of content, chapter by chapter, section by section. And that's what I did this time also to write this book for Ollama. So you need to start with a vision, a view to have a overall understanding of landscape, the competitive landscape, commercial side, the academic side of the landscape. Who is doing it? Who are the experts? Who are the players? Who are the top tier innovators? If I write Ollama, I actually need to understand, what are the language model, foundation model they are using from open source perspective. When I look at the financial application for using LLM, I started doing some research by reading research papers. So and usually you will be able to find out a good survey research papers, which give you pretty good overview and or summary manner, understanding what research, what application had been already done and built. So I found a couple, and one of the research paper, people interested, you can contact me. I can share with you. It's a research paper analyzing, surveying financial applications in using LLM. And basically, they categorize into 5 or 6 categories applications in financial industry or finance. The number one is a linguistic type of applications, basically like NLP, like a summary and text extraction and classification, all these type of NLP application. This is the number one type of application now. You know that this generation of LLM is very much centralized from text. The second type of application in financial setting is called sentiment analysis. It's the second highly populated application. People want to understand the financial market, the open market, the private market, the hedge fund, the credit market. So all different industries, this is about investment, and the investment need to come with some type of emotion, you would say. You want to see, you're taking risk, you bet, you put the money there, you expect some return. But they all have also many of these impacts for sentiment. The third one is actually called time series. Because in financial market, time series data is very critical when you do trading, mostly time series data. Third one, fourth one is kind of called the reasoning. You use the reasoning capability from LLM to build application. The next one is called agent. The agent is some type of new framework come out. We'll cover some other ones, but these are the way they categorize. These are the financial application in large language model. I'm here sitting in the AI for Finance conference in New York today, and I'm listening all these. And by reading that paper, give me a good perspective what I need to look for in terms of spending my time in the conference. try to cover different aspects of the application. In terms of a use case, I was having a dinner last night with one of the pension fund manager. He told me that in their pension fund, they sign contract with different parties for investment because they have like all the nurse or doctors' money in Canada, and this money they need to invest somewhere, hopefully bring better returns. But when they sign contract with party for investment, those contract is like 45 pages document, and they will compare all these documents side by side and see, I'm signing this one for company A or hedge fund A, and the other one for like say a bank. So they compare this contract, 45 pages contract. It's a perfect use case for large language models to understand. You put a quick summary, understand the important courses legal-wide. I'll leave one more comments on this one. In the last maybe 100 years, we are people writing documents, news, novels, poems. But in the next 100 years, I can foresee it's going to be a lot of machine writing.
No.
We are transitioning to machine reading to machine writing. The machine will play a bigger role in the communication. So, yeah, if you understand this, the fundamental of the application in finance is everywhere.
So I guess AI is the new evolution for us and, for generations to come, right? This is how we could kind of sum it up, right?
Yeah, you could look at it in many. If you really look at everybody's job, there's opportunities there. We are just in the very beginning of it. So
yeah,
yeah.
But don't you think that with the presence of so many AI tools being there, right? You Google AI, you get so many tools, right? What do you think is what do you think should be the criteria for a finance related firm, right, to choose that what particular tool fits best to their needs? Like, is there a criteria, or you could just pick any and use any?
Yeah, I'll say it depends on your use case, but most of the time you start with some most popular one. You hear from your friends, you heard this from your mentors. Listen to expert. So nowadays the most popular one, killer app in this time of AI is ChatGPT.
Yeah,
you can use it, and it's $20, or you can use the free version. And you spend. I'll say the requirement for my personal view is you need to spend 10 hours in your first week. Then you can call it. I use it. You don't do it in a way. Say I use like 30 minutes in a day, and 2 hours in first week, and 10 hours first month. No, that's not the way you use it. The way you use it intensively and try to it's like you play games, right? You want to do a better job, and you want to do the capability and find your joy using it. If you haven't got that point, then you are not really use it in an effective. And listen some YouTubes. You can learn everything on YouTube nowadays. You can do some Google search and see how people use it for, right? So I use it for troubleshooting my electronics at home. When something wrong,
how do you know how to talk to ChatGPT at this point in time? I'm still learning how to prompt what I want.
Just want to stop there. The ChatGPT, everything. You just need to.
Yeah, once I kind of get a hang of it, then I'm able to utilize it best to my to fit my needs.
Yes. So I mean, the first thing is you use it, but use it in the right way, and then use one tool to some level before you move to the next. Because when I read Ollama book, one of the important topic on my second chapter or first chapter is about how to choose different language models because every model and they change very fast. So if you learn like AI, then you can use next time you can move to what you can use you can try mystery from other open source tools there, and do some reading, and certain language model are strong for research, certain model are strong for coding perspective, and some tools or language model are strong, not say strong, good in terms of performance, latency. Some are good for reasoning, for science. So if you know the scope of this type of criteria, you will be able to figure out a way how to pick, right? Because the criteria is to do a particular task.
Yeah. Okay, so Andrew, from your, a very multifaceted career of yours and experiences of yours, you've also consulted with hedge funds and, investment firms to build to build AI first strategies, right? Could you describe that? What does this approach essentially entails, and how do firms they align their goals to the AI capabilities, achieve the desired outcomes and impactful outcomes that they essentially want?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've been talking to different quant the large and small. They are different. Large quant and then the hedge fund, they have thousands of employees, hundreds of people doing technology, working in technology space. They have R&D center. They have PhDs. They have GPU cluster, and they have power the very much high, from trading systems. So they have resources to be innovation driver. In fact, one of the top hedge fund I know that they implemented based on what I know, is the most powerful rack system in the world. I would say, even I'm not really into every company, but I've been serving Microsoft, Amazon, Google, their enterprise use cases. I can reasonably confidently to say they build a very good, scalable AI systems. However, for small hedge funds, or mostly small, medium-sized hedge fund, they don't have that type of resource. They don't have our IT personnel. They buy very expensive IT or information system like a Bloomberg terminal, which costs them like $20,000 to $40,000 per year for licensing. But they don't know how to integrate AI or ChatGPT into Bloomberg. They simply have no idea. But they heard of ChatGPT. They know AI. They use ChatGPT. But they need to figure out a much better way to integrate this ChatGPT into their workflow. And that is something I'm helping them to educate them to build a path to go there. It's not easy. Their IT foundation and people and process is not the same as big firms.
Yeah. Okay, so you said previously that AI, 100 years from now, everything would be done by machine, right? Machine would be the new human.
Everything, but I think a majority part of it will be done by machine.
Yeah. So what emerging trends do you think that will in AI would have the biggest impact upon for finance industry? And are there any particular areas where companies or firms they should start investing right now to remain competitive in the near future?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, this time around, I've been working with so many startup companies, particularly YC company. You look at every year, there are hundreds of them. And someone had done research to classify all these, startup, what they're focusing on, and that they, by industry, by technology. Um, you see they're very disruptive and very much leading edge. However, for large enterprise even for most part of the financial industry, they are highly regulated, and they're not to change overnight, and may not even get this run finished in 2-3 years. It's just in the very beginning part. So I think that the innovation should start incrementally. Incrementally is by learning and educating yourself
Yeah.
from knowledge wide understand why the innovation coming from technology wide. You don't necessarily to be expert on in learning transformer or embedding systems and all the science and the research aspect, but you need to understand the application in using LLMs or maybe RAG agent. So understand the high level, what's the most common use cases out there, and then educate yourself and make educated decision to invest, because it's not one time.
Yeah.
I think if you go by fundamental, it's about AI is about data. So you need to build the foundation for data, like a data strategy, data engineering, data integration, data pipeline, centralized, distributed, however the way you want to do it. If you want to build that foundation, if you want to invest in people, you want to educate your team, you want to hire experts. So if you have the right source, the innovation will come. You don't need
Yeah.
necessarily to tell. They will
You could
come
make that
naturally.
into a code. And you could make that into a code and then write your name. That's a very good code, right?
Yeah. So I think that's if you follow some right strategy and principles, and you don't need to do everything right, but if you focus on a couple of important things, you'll get there. It's not going to be a question. You're going to get there.
And for specifically, professionals and people and companies who are working in this field currently, right? What do you think what areas of knowledge, are most valuable for them to develop, ensure a successful transition from today to tomorrow?
Yeah, very good question. You asked so many good questions. I'm impressed. You must have done research.
We're very well researched. We're very well researched.
Very good, very good. I know it's only a limit of time. We only pick some of the question, but these are so much relevant.
Yeah.
I think for people, especially leaders, you need to be well informed in terms of industry development and the best practices. You need to read somewhat the research report from Gartner, IDC, or CB, the insight to understand the current development, say 2024, what's going on, right? And find that feedback index, understand your segment of the industry, where they are, and develop a methodology to monitor, follow the market. I mean, like everybody, if you want to do research, you need to build a system to research. And you need to spend 15-20 minutes a day and understand what's going on rather than 2 hours. Right? So first thing, I think you should be educated and to have a way to understand the best practice in the industry. And then once you understand it, and selectively to experiment small, find a use case for organization is low risk, high return, and start experiment today.
Yeah.
Don't need to wait. right?
Yeah.
You really don't need to wait.
Yeah.
You really
Okay.
don't
Makes sense.
really don't need to debate
Hmm.
today. I do it or I don't do it. You start.
You start somewhere
So
eventually, right?
right.
Yeah.
Start
Yeah.
something small. I'm not asking you to put $1 million or even $100,000 or $10,000. You can start experiment maybe in $5,000.
Hmm. And
Then
finally, okay,
yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah.
Continue. Yeah, you can
My,
continue. You can
my
continue.
Yeah, my last point. Yeah, the first one I have 3 points. One is understand the industry practice, experiment small, and scale one use case big.
Hmm.
Scale one. If you
Okay.
look at all the financial companies, they all do this differently. But everybody pick one battle, and they
Hmm.
win that battle. If
Yeah.
you win that first battle, you'll win the next one.
Makes sense. Okay. So, finally, the last question for this particular session would be that what advice would you have to give financial leaders, people who are, ruling the financial industry now, or people who, they plan on stepping into this particular industry, and what advice you essentially have for them, about the role of innovation and an AI-driven future?
Yeah. So, good question. Let me think a little bit. Yeah, so this time around, the entire AI is an opportunity, but it's opportunity for you and also for others.
Yeah.
You have a choice. You have a choice to choose what to do, how to do it.
Yeah.
But you need to make a smart choice, or you don't make a choice. But
Yeah.
it's not about you. It's about everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether you make a choice or not, other people will make a choice.
Yeah. Makes
You're
sense.
going to be in a world of either collaboration or competition. And if you see this as an opportunity, it will be an opportunity for you to secure. If you
Yeah.
see this as like, yeah, I don't ready. I think this is something, but everybody make a choice. The important thing is it's not about how you start. It's how do you finish.
Yeah.
You do not need
Another
to
quote
rush.
right there. Another quote right there.
You do not need to rush. You
Yeah.
don't need to, panic. The
Yeah.
opportunity is always there for you.
Yeah.
It's about how you finish. You have time. You have enough time where in the very beginning. So I give you this vision. It's a journey you can choose. And you're going to finish. It's about how you finish.
Yeah. That is, I mean,
Uh,
truly, truly motivating again. And yeah.
yeah, I actually have 2 more points.
Okay, but yeah, sure, you can continue.
Yeah, I think that's a second point is I still go back to my enterprise story. It's about people, it's about process, about change management, it's about building some foundations. It's about building a consensus for a long-term vision. If you build these components around, go back my first point, you
Yeah.
always have time.
Yeah.
You can make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The third point I want to give is take a risk.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. You make a mistake. If you build the foundation right, you can take a risk. High risk, high return.
Yeah.
Low risk, low return. So you build the foundation, you take a risk. You have a vision, you will finish okay, hopefully well.
Yeah. And I think you always kind of, end up learning, even if you kind of fail, but that failure also adds up to your own knowledge,
Right.
your own experience, right?
Yeah.
Which you could utilize it
Yeah.
anywhere else in your life.
Yeah.
So there's
It's a balance, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's balance. It's balance. I mean, sometimes you want to take more risk, but sometimes you want to lay back a little bit,
Yeah.
let go for some time because
Yeah.
it's a marathon, right?
Yeah.
So if you understand this different component, all these are the tools for you.
Yeah.
You're going to use them for your benefit. It's not your enemy.
And then, people are also, lucky enough to, have people like you around so that, they can listen to you and they can always, get up to you and kind of, reach out to you maybe. And then if they're lucky enough like us and, kind of get insights from you and then, kind of, implement them in their own lives.
Yeah, no, if you see one thing I would also probably want to leave to the audience is it's about learning. And this is a completely different world. I learn things today. I do spend time on social media, and I do spend time on short videos because this is the way people consume information and get knowledge. So I follow like a dozen of key opinion leaders in AI space, from Andrew Ng to someone in financial industry. So that's how I learned the stuff. And I think the key thing is most of the knowledge you want to learn and know is there.
Yeah.
You just need to know how, and then start with the question. Ask a question where. You ask the question, they will tell you. But you don't ask a question, you're going to spend a good amount of 2 months or 2 years try to figure out yourself.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. That's life advice there. That's life advice there. Thank you so much, Andrew, for sharing your valuable insights with us today. You are truly, remarkable. Your knowledge and expertise are truly, very remarkable. And it was an honor hosting you today. From the behalf of the entire team at Cyberfolk, thank you very much. Thank you once again. And we are, coming up with more conversations, more ideas, more insightful thoughts with, involving experts like you and many other podcasts for our, audiences and for our listeners. Until then, thank you so much, Andrew, again for being here today. Take care, all of you. And good day.
Okay. Talk to you. And thank you. And have a good rest of the weekend.